All right. Thank you so much for joining today in the key lessons of the Infinite Way. Great that you're here and that we can continue with lesson 8. And lesson 8 is all about grace and effortlessness. So that's wonderful to dive into, to join in. So thank you so much for doing that today. And we have today a meditation coming up that is also like a grace meditation, the secret of grace it's called. And then in between we look at some expressions coming from the heart of mysticism of Joel. And then we continue with listening to the video. And the video of the audio is an interesting one. It's the attainment of spiritual consciousness. Like the attainment, it is an overview basically of the human consciousness evolution. Joel shares about the last 400 years of humanhood, where we changed from hunters and farmers to people that are actually able to read, to and on and on and on. It's like all the developments that took place after that brought you to, in fact, to also to this. Well, of course, there have always been the ones that are touched by the Christ, so to speak, and that were waking up, despite all the things that people were saying or developments that were going on. So it's like if you are touched by something that is not related to time, that is still totally possible, even though you seem to be living in a certain time. Like, that's why it always has been like that. There always have been ones waking up. But see, the most important part at this point is you waking up. So that is also where the meditation will be directed to. Like Joel shares many expressions as like a recognition of the development of spiritual attainment. And what I mean with that is, like, he speaks in we and you, and so this meditation is in that sense different. I literally used part from the heart of mysticism, but translated it into direct expression of I am divine light, I am this. And so that makes it that it comes closer to your own experience, because in fact it is your declaration. There is nothing outside of you. There's no enlightened Joel Goldsmith outside of you. No, that's also happening within you. He is a recognition of the Christ in you, or whatever he is, meaning to you at this point in time. So that's why this is so personal, and also that is why everything has in fact to do with you and not with anyone else. Nobody else needs to hear this, nobody else needs to do this, and this is what Joel teaches too during, like, when he's teaching practitionership. It's like you have to receive this for yourself first, in your recognition of your oneness with God. So-called patient is healed, because oneness is one, is whole and perfect. So this is you. This is you in your recognition of your perfection, of the wholeness that is your true identity. And that's so lovely to see that and to practice that, because you have a good chance of actually experiencing that right away. You don't have to wait for anyone else. You don't have to, it's like this is only for you. That is the beauty of this, in the direct sense of speaking. Like literally the voice is speaking to you through this directly. And this is waiting, like the voice is waiting for you to recognize it for one thing, to accept it, and to demonstrate it, to live it, to live the conscious life. So this is really something else, and so that's why I love to practice it with you. The secret of grace is contact with the infinite invisible, the universal center of being within you, the realization of the kingdom of God, communion with the Father within. My consciousness is touched by the Christ. You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he is willing to trust you. A voice is speaking. I perform the thing that is appointed for you. Grace takes over in your life now, this moment of grace. This divine light I receive, joining the illumined of all ages, not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit. I desire the knowledge of God. Reunite with him and be at peace. Now I receive the realization of the Father within. Now I feel the atmosphere of love, that inner awareness of the presence. Now is the beginning of my life by grace. This divine light I am. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining the meditation and the silence and the practice, like the active practice of being open, of receptivity, you could say. All right, so preparing ourselves for the tape. Actually, there's a real beautiful addition to the tape itself, because the tape is, like I said, it's a description, very much a description or a sharing of the evolution of human mind, humankind, and evolving to spiritual man. And so he uses all kinds of examples for that, and he leads you through the time line. And like I said, we end up with ourselves. Here we're taking a look at the idea of effortlessness and grace. And effortlessness is always interesting because it is the end of human ideas, in the sense of human ideas are full of effort. Growing up as a child, having to go study, becoming something or someone, doing the things that you do, all of these are full of effort. Or whether it's you as a child, or you as the mother of a child or a father of a child, and there's a lot to do. There's a lot of effort connected to it, and so this is quite in contradiction then with the idea of effortlessness. Like what is effortless? In human perspective, there's nothing effortless. Almost nothing. Like, okay, maybe a little bit, but not so much. Like, it's very unusual that things are effortless. Now, that's why this is an interesting subject, and it's one of the key lessons to learn, of course. Like, if it's effortless, who's going to do it then? If I don't do it, who's going to do it? It would be a natural response to this idea. And a natural human response. So here we take steps. We're going to look at, so what is this then that is giving that to us just like that, like for no reason whatsoever, effortless. That is grace. But yeah, what is that grace? How do I attain grace? How do I receive that? What do I need to do for it? So all these questions are really legitimate in a human consciousness, in a human perspective. But you see that the story of effortlessness starts beyond your human ideas. It starts beyond your effort, your trying, your like making it work, or your ways to actually to believe that you have a power to do that. That you think, well, I try harder and it might work, and I push through and it might work, and I do this and it might work, and I try again and it might work. Not realizing that at the end of all of that is where, say, grace and effortlessness kick in. They actually can only be seen when you say, like, I have no idea how to do this any longer. I don't know how to move further. I'm at the end of my ideas. So this is the great point, where in fact you could say, like, in a human perspective, it is a total point of total devastation, or total feeling completely hopeless, because you've tried everything and it didn't work. Well, whether that's going through sickness, whether that's going through financial devastation, whether that's going through, who knows, whatever disaster you find yourself in. So at the end of your ideas, the solution, it can be given, because then finally you will be open to receive them. So that is an interesting way of doing. It's like you so believe in your own doing that you forget that no, everything is given to you. No, you just ask and receive. No, it's not by might nor by power. It's not. You're not doing anything in that sense. Like, don't be confused about that. It's going to be given. It is falling into place, but let it fall into place. Don't try to make it fall into place, or try to adjust things by which it cannot fall into place if you, let's say, are in fact disturbing what is going on. You don't need to do anything. And that's very unusual. It's like, how do you want to see perfection? How do you want to see the wholeness of your brother if you still perceive a lack and limitation in his actions? Like, that would be impossible. You perceive something and you believe that to be something. You believe that what you see is a real good evaluation of your brother. Not forgetting that. You forget at the same time that that is no information. No, so in order to see your brother as perfect, you do the same thing. It's like, beyond all your ideas about your brothers, suddenly you can open your eyes, because it is not up to you to give a description or to give a definition, but it is given to you to see your brother as whole and complete and perfect, loving, lovely, beautiful, and not anything else. You don't have to judge that. So it's like, it's perfect of itself. It falls into place, just like every situation. Just get out of the way. Don't disturb the scene, so to speak. It would be like you enter into a certain scene and you disturb the scene by your presence. We all have experiences with that. You enter into a room, people are busy there, and you announce yourself in that room, in fact disturbing the scene. And that's the same thing as what you do with the situations that you find yourself in. You have an idea about it, how it should look and how it should be. In that sense, you are disturbing the scene, because you forget in that same time to step back and actually allow the scene to tell you how perfect it is. It's like you cannot see it in any other way. You have to step back out of it with your ideas in order to see that it's not missing anything. It's perfect. It's perfect. And it was always perfect. Different than what you expected. So anyway, so this is going already a little bit deeper into it, but this is exactly what Joel is sharing with us too today. Which is a book I love to use always, because it's very compact, very beautiful, concentrated talks. Yeah, in fact, talks or letters. Of course, they're letters, but like Joel took time to make some real nice, beautiful script of it. Grace and effortlessness. When you live in conscious union with God, good things flow to you through grace without struggle. This is in stark contrast to the human effort to acquire riches or security, just to mention a couple, like health and wealth. It's like when you live in conscious union with God, these things can come to you. Literally, you open up for that. Because of you experiencing grace, that can come to you too, because you have no idea about it. And you see that this all happens despite of your ideas. The same as waking up. There is an area of consciousness through which you are instantly one with God and with all spiritual being and creation, and through which you find instantly available all forms of good. This has been described as the sea of spirit, and it is as well the universal or divine soul. So this is a beautiful description that Joel gives. It's like the sea of spirit, or the soul. The soul is in direct communication with the universe, with what everything is, like the wholeness and totality of the love of God. The soul is in perfect communication. So when you let go of all the ideas and enter into a deep stillness and go deeper and deeper into it, in fact, you start opening up, listening to your soul, communicating with the totality of your being, because it is all happening in you. It is not just happening in Joel or just happening in who knows who. But no, it's happening in you. So this is beautiful. It's like, oh yes, my soul is in perfect communication. But the soul is not separate from me. No, it's just like I open myself and see and experience and feel that if I let go of my ideas about how the situation should look, or what I need to do in order to maintain and attain all of this, then suddenly it can be there. It can be given to me. So this is very fundamental, but absolutely lovely. In achieving conscious contact with this sea of spirit, or the Father within, you find divine love pouring itself into expression in you, of course, so that you no longer live by personal effort alone, but by grace. So in achieving conscious contact with the sea of spirit, or the Father within, or your soul, you find divine love pouring itself into expression. And the pouring into expression is really like the fountain of life within you, the tree of life within you, so that you no longer live by personal effort, but by grace. See, this personal effort is essential in this story, because that is the part that needs to get out of the way in order to experience the grace. So this is interesting. You find divine love pouring itself into expression. Literally, you cannot stop it. It just pours out of you in your experience of yourself in connection with the Sea of Spirit or the Father within. You radiate it through yourself. It's radiating through. Then suddenly you discover you are that instrument that Joel is talking about. Rather than to seek your good from persons or things, tap this universal soul and become a beholder as it pours forth as ideas, manifest as the human forms of good so necessary to your present experience. It is only as you learn to look to this invisible, infinite invisible, that you begin to understand the nature of grace. So we're talking here about a delicate, beautiful experience within you. And Joel makes an effort, or he actually describes how to tap into this. Rather than to seek your good from persons or things, tap this universal soul and become a beholder as it pours forth as ideas, manifest as the human forms of good so necessary to your present experience. It is only as you learn to look to this infinite invisible that you begin to understand the nature of grace. Instead of seeking or desiring something already existing as form or effect, learn to turn within and let your good unfold from this divine source, the infinite unseen. Yeah, this is the instruction. Instead of seeking or desiring something already existing as form or effect, learn to turn within and let your good unfold from this divine source, the infinite unseen. And that's why we always say this is a secret. Right? It's a secret. Because as long as I can define it, it is not a secret. And it is not what it is. So this is unspeakable. It's invisible. It's unspeakable. And that's why it's true. And that is the loveliness. So you learn to listen. You learn to say, hold back your ideas, to open your consciousness for a different experience altogether, in which everything is going to be shown to you, but you didn't determine the outcome. No, you are literally on the edge of your seat in full expectancy to receive that and to see this, that what is given is completely new. It wasn't there before. It has nothing to do with your ideas anymore, like as you have been accustomed to in your past. No, this is new. What is given is new. It's new opportunities, new possibilities that's unheard of. Literally unheard of, undefined, invisible. Just happening in the moment. That is why it's by grace. It's like you can't believe it when you see it at work. And it's absolutely beautiful. So you certainly have experiences with it, because God is good. God is good. He's very willing to give. He pours his love continuously over you, so to speak, from within. And the only thing that you need to do is putting down your ideas about how things should look and how you work things out and how you should get to achieving the goal that you want. Now you give up these goals. You allow grace to live your life, the Christ to live your life. You, on a moment-by-moment basis, you're going to let the light guide you. And literally like, well, here I am, follow me. I will give you everything that you need to know. I will instruct you step by step. Like, easy does it here. Easy does it. Is a total recognition of the perfection of this all, in connection with everyone, sufficient for you. That's what this is about. So you can say, like, if I want to do things on my own, in my own way, with my own effort and my own strength, what can I expect as an outcome? You know the outcome. That is not working. You know the outcome. So it will be a confusion or a disappointment. Now here, right next to it, like in every moment, it is right next to you. There's the alternative, the sea of spirit, like literally giving you everything if you allow that situation to be new, to be total, and take your hands off, so to speak, step back and let that happen. Then you can see that. And it will look different because it has no longer really to do with the form at all. But there's a continuous recognition that you are not separate from your source, because you see it flows forth from within and it extends to whatever form. Who cares what form? But still, that is included too. It doesn't matter how it's going to look, but you know it's not coming from your thoughts, because you recognize the frequency of that. You recognize very well what you, so-called, have made for yourself, because you thought you needed it. So here, this is very deep. It's a beautiful lesson. I love it. I love it that this passes too. It's like that we get to take time to really go into this. So here are some practical parts. Let the practitioner and teacher seek activity from this inner source. Let them do it. Let the business and professional man look to the divine within. Let him do it. Let the sick and the sinner seek healing and perfection from within. It's like, let that happen. Let that happen. Activity from this inner source. Look to the divine within. Perfection from within. All from within. So this is specifically for you, of course. It's like, that's beautiful. Let that happen from within. Let divine show you from within. Be ever alert. It's not that you're sleeping and just like hands crossed or arms crossed, like sitting on your couch waiting for it to happen. Like, no, be ever alert, expectant of consciousness unfolding as new and richer and lovelier forms of good. And you will experience the abundance of life by grace. To understand that your soul is the eternal storehouse of all good is permitting the activity of the Christ to function in your experience through grace. So this is wonderful. It's like to understand that your soul is the eternal storehouse of all good. Yeah, you might as well connect with it, right? It's permitting the activity of Christ to function in your experience through grace. Yeah. Be ever alert, expectant of consciousness unfolding as new and richer and lovelier forms of good, and you will experience the abundance of life by grace. See, it's like it becomes obvious that this is a solution, so to speak, that is not man-made. Like the solutions you can come up with your human mind will always cause other problems too. Like I can imagine a solution to a problem. Temporarily it seems to work, but then right around the corner there's the next problem. You've seen this many times. And here it is like, now we do this in a different way. We're not going to look for the solution within our human reach. No, we're actually opening up and stay very much alert to receive it. Let it come by divine grace. Let Spirit give it to us. Let this be unfold to us in divine consciousness. Like, let this be completely new, lovelier, more beautiful, or like however you want to say it. It is more like, allow this moment to happen. Take away what you think it should look like. Take all your ideas for a moment, hold them back for a moment, leave them for what they are, and open your consciousness to receive something brand new. It works literally like it works in every situation. It is just for you to be alert and be active in it. This is for active ones, that you apply this and see that every situation is useful for it. You don't have to wait until you're in deep trouble, or that you're ill, or that you're doing this or that. Like, no, this works in every situation, because there's no situation excluded from this. No, it's all inclusive. And life becomes so much simpler and with less effort if you allow this to happen to you. You can imagine, and you notice, like I'm preaching to the choir, so to speak. I was like, you know this already. If you try to solve a problem, what happens is, well, it worked for a moment, but now here's another problem, and here's another problem. Well, actually, I shouldn't have done that. No, that was not a good idea. Yeah, it seemed to be solving a problem here, but actually it isn't. Now this you recognize very well, but what is happening in the meantime? Time is just ticking away. Like before you recognize that your problem didn't really work out, your problem solving wasn't that effective, there's already like so much chaos caused by it, that you need to really go back first and realize, oh my God, I should have never done this altogether. Like, I should have asked for help. What happens if you ask for help? Like, everything falls right here into place. Not tomorrow. No, today, right now. It is happening now. It is falling into place right now. That means I don't have to make all these detours coming to the same spot again, where I know myself to be always, like, no matter what problem solving you apply, you come always back to the same place, because it wasn't really solved. So you seem to make no progress at all. So here it is then, by staying in the moment, receiving, opening up for grace to show you, this is the simple way. This is the way without effort. Letting it fall into place. Different than you expected it to be, but it is literally, you experience that your mind is still at peace. And nothing changed in that sense. Like, no, you actually were confirmed in your connectedness to the universe, to your brother, to God. And that is the loveliness of this. So this is like, today is the start of your life by grace, by just applying this. And if you need help with that, you ask for it. You ask for help to do this, because this is your only option, really. Like, you have tried all others. They brought you back here. So now this one is going to really solve things in a way that you have no idea about. So that's literally true. All right. I love it. It's just great. So thank you, Joel, for giving that to us today. And yeah, if you get a chance, I have a PDF available with the Heart of Mysticism. If you're interested, just let me know. I will send it to you. But it's like such a great book because of this. Yeah, can you imagine? Like, you read this in a book, it saves you years of struggle by actually accepting this and letting this come to you. So it's like, wow, that's so beautiful.
Good morning.
Good morning.
A magazine article was sent to me from the mainland that had as its title, "Is God Leaving the Campus?" And the answer to that question is no. God is not leaving the campus, God is returning to the campus. The article is based on the fact that so many students in the colleges and universities are not attending church. And by this it is assumed that they are deserting God. On the other hand, the fact is that that very desertion is proof that they are seeking God. They haven't found God where they were looking for it, and they are looking for it, and many of them are finding at least the beginning. It is pointed out that there is a great deal of immorality, delinquency among college students, but that probably is among those who at no time were the religious seekers. They are indicating more or less that they are following the times. The fact of juvenile delinquency or college immorality is no sign at all of a decadent society. It is merely the sign that God has not yet been discovered. In foreign countries like England, Australia, many other countries, church attendance is very small, in some cases below 10%. But never believe for a moment that this is an indication that God is being deserted. It is rather an indication that many have discovered that they couldn't find God in the church, and they've decided to seek elsewhere. And of course we have evidence of that in the tremendous numbers of people throughout the world who in this century have begun to seek God in the metaphysical and spiritual movements and unorganized movements, in the amount of literature that is available of a non-churchly substance and yet religious. You know, in the beginning of this earthly experience, we had only a physical mode of life. Farming, road building, warring, fishing, hunting. All of life was lived on the physical level of experience. As a matter of fact, it is only within the last 400 odd years that we have a printing press. Up to that time, the number of people who could read and write were very, very few. So you know that they were living their lives purely on the physical level. Even an important subject like marriage was conducted on the physical level of life. Parents arranged for marriages, not with any idea of love or compatibility, but as to whether or not a woman could take care of a busy household and raise a family, and whether or not a man could do sufficient hunting and fishing and building to keep the home going. Eventually, the world groped toward an understanding of the mind, and gradually discovered the mind. With that discovery, life became less physical, gradually less physical, gradually more mental, until today we have a miracle confronting us that is frightening many people, frightening millions of people, all because of the discovery of the mind. In England, there was a steel mill that employed 40,000 workers, mostly laborers. And it turned out X number of tons of steel. But they have now built a new steel mill, the same company. And instead of 40,000 employees, they will have only 10,000, and these will be electronics engineers. There will be practically no laborers. In other words, this world has advanced far beyond the physical sense of life into the mental. In the coal mines, they are no longer engaging coal miners. They are allowing the present generation of coal miners to die out or be retired, but they are being replaced with electronic engineers to do coal mining electrically or electronically. Life is becoming vastly different than it was in my younger years, in just this one generation. And of course, we are only at the beginning. In the same way, as the printing press developed, as books became available, we entered a whole world of people who not only could read and write, but who had available to them enough access to the mental realm so that they could know and enjoy some of the finest of literature. And art, music, all of these things that come forth from the mind. Well, the publishing industry is going through a revolution today, and just as in some foreign countries they no longer publish hard-covered books, except textbooks that are supposed to last a long time. But they're doing most of their publishing in paperbacks, and thereby making literature, art, music available to everyone as fast as they can develop their mental capacities. And one of the days you will find that taking place over here. At present there is a resistance to it because it is so difficult to give up yesterday's manna. But the day will come when you will see over here very few books published in hard covers, except textbooks, because more and more people want books, want access to that mental realm. Along with the development, the discovery and the development of the mental realm, access has been made to the cosmic realm. This is the reason that in the past less than 100 years we have made greater strides in invention, science, discovery, knowledge of the world, knowledge of the hidden secrets of the world, even down into the atom, because with the discovery of the mind, access has been gained to the cosmic, the universal mind, the storehouse of wisdom. In other words, these discoveries of science, art, literature, music, these have come from the storehouse in which they are stored, and as we gain access to that storehouse, the universal mind, the cosmic mind, gives up its wisdom to us and reveals to us that which we are seeking. Whether we are seeking a way to the North or the South Pole, whether we are seeking a way to fly in the air or under the water, whether we are seeking automation, machinery, whatever it may be that we are seeking, we can only find if we have access to the cosmic mind, to the universal mind of man. Individual man, through his mind, reaches back and finds that his mind is a corridor leading to the infinite, the universal mind, in which every secret of life is stored up. Now, this changes the entire nature of human living. First of all, because we are no longer confined to what our ancestors knew. We are not confined or limited to their ignorance. Now we have access to infinity, and there is no limit to what can be achieved through our understanding of the fact that we do have access to the universal storehouse of the laws of life, the physical laws, material laws, mental laws, laws of nature. All of these laws govern our automobiles, our airplanes, all of these laws governing the new ways of raising crops. So we come to the age in which we have been living this past century, in which, because of our access to the cosmic mind, we are now going to be able to live without limits. You remember that I have brought out that in 1900, articles were published stating that our industry would soon come to an end because not enough horses were being raised. And without horses, you can't have industry. But you see, our access to the infinite brought forth the automobile, and so we discover now that we are not limited to what our ancestors thought of as power. We have a new power. 20 years ago, articles were published in California warning the world that we were coming to the end of our supply of oil for gasoline, and that it would not be too many years and we wouldn't have enough gasoline to run our commerce. Well, of course, what happened is that so many new sources of oil were discovered that quickly met the situation for the time being. But since then, we have again demonstrated that our access to infinity means that it will make no difference when our supply of gasoline comes to an end, for we have found another power which can well take the place of gasoline and run our ships and automobiles, so that we are no longer going to be limited to gasoline. Through our access to infinity, we have learned the nature of atomic power, and eventually we will have that for everyday use. You see, there is no limit to the capacity of man, because there is no limit to the capacity of the cosmic mind, the universal mind of man, the storehouse of infinity. And as long as man recognizes that he has access to this entire universal world, realm, he will bring forth that which will increase the supply of harmonious living. He will bring forth that which will lessen physical exertion and increase mental powers, and thereby bring forth a whole new world which you've already seen brought forth in the last 50 years, and which is only the beginning of a still greater era. Throughout all of this time, dating back, let us say, 4,000 years unto the present, there has been virtually no progress made, no advance in religious discovery. While the world was progressing from the physical realm of life to the mental, the religious life remained in the status quo of paganism, ignorance, superstition. That is all there is to the religions of the world. Just ignorance, paganism, superstition, the same as it has been for 4,000 years. True, during this time, there have been mystics who have revealed spiritual truth, but this has never found its way to the public. Therefore, the public has continued to live in the religious life of 4,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago, without any sign of an advance, until the mental science or mental sciences, mental religious sciences, were brought forth, which really, well, they were mistakenly called religion, because no mental science really has any connection with religion either. This, too, is the mental mind of man expanding and finding new principles. And so, as we come into the metaphysical movements of this particular era, just as the inventors and scientists have found a whole new world in the mind and through the mind, so the metaphysician has discovered a whole new world in the mind, applicable to other phases of his human existence than invention, and science, and so forth. All of this indicates an advance. All of this shows our progress. And then, one day, we awaken to a discovery that shocks us, and that is this. This realm of the mind that we have discovered can be used both for good and evil. All of these discoveries, electricity that gives us heat, cold, comfort, also kills or can be used to kill. The discovery of the atomic secrets, which eventually will free this world from most of its physical force, physical labors, is also used to kill. Dynamite, which originally was discovered as a great means of helping us to carve out cities from the country, and other useful purposes, became gunpowder to destroy life. And so you find, shockingly, that access to this cosmic, universal mind of man is a marvelous thing in one way, but frightening in another, because whether or not these great discoveries are ultimately used for the welfare of mankind depends on the moral nature of man. And the moral nature of man never has been above that of self-interest, self-preservation, self-gain, self-profit. Only when a spiritual element enters the consciousness of an individual do they lose the capacity to decide on good or evil, or to bring forth for evil. But remember, until man finds a way to bring the spiritual element into the consciousness of mankind, he is at the mercy of those who govern, of those who control, of those who lead. And as we have seen, in this era of wonderful accomplishments, these great accomplishments have not lessened our fears or dangers. They have increased them. No one on the face of the globe today can truthfully say they are happier or safer or more secure or freer because of these great discoveries. More comfortable, yes, of course. Of course, we're all living with tiled bathrooms and electricity and air conditioning and all the rest of the comforts of life. But would you say that mankind is happier, safer, freer? Of course not. There isn't a country on the face of the globe where man is not more in bondage to his government than he was 50 years ago, where he isn't more governed by his government, more controlled by his government. And always remember that if it isn't your government or mine, there is always one just across the border. And so it is that if you examine yourself, you will discover that these inventions, these discoveries, this great progress has not brought this world into greater freedom, into greater peace, into greater safety, but rather have increased the burden in every direction of life. There is no need to point out that in spite of all the great mental discoveries that we need to build more mental institutions than ever before, and that we are given such beautiful figures as 7 or 15 people out of every 100 must expect to end up in a mental institute, and so forth and so on. Life hasn't become easier for the people of this world. It has just become more physically comfortable, but the burdens they carry in the mind are greater. And that comes from fear of the very discoveries that should set us free.
All right. Thank you, Joel. So Joel brought us exactly to the place where I wanted to end up. And that is like, well, here is your human, say, we developed and developed and developed, and we did that. And we kept doing that. And look at the situation now. Like, if you look at the world, you could say, like, that hasn't changed this was in 64. Well, it hasn't changed in 60 years either. That's as easy as that. Like, that did not change. Are the people happier in the world? Did we suddenly find an invention that really, really did something for us? Except TikTok, of course. No, that didn't do it either. So all of it, you can say, if you trust, still believe that the human consciousness and the ideas that are related to it are worth striving for and further developing, because there might be light at the end of this tunnel, then you're mistaken. It's literally like this world wasn't made for that. It's like all the things that you do here are still based on an idea that you're separate from what everything is. So that can never work. So here then in our, say, recognition of let this moment be new, don't invent it, don't do it, pull yourself out of it, step back. Now let grace define its perfection here. Let it show you what perfection means in the situation that you find yourself in. And this is the great lesson that Jill is actually teaching here. So I use this specific part because it's like he points it out into every detail. With the development over the last 400 years, up to this moment, well, you can, it's like you can still extend to this moment, because nothing has changed in that sense in the world. There's not a decrease of complexity in the problems that we're perceiving. No, everything is intertwined now in such a way, and we have literally expanded above the mental plane into a digital area, which is still also mental, but it's like now the automation part is in the thinking. It's like, oh my God. The human thinking wasn't what brought us happiness, and now it thinks automatically with like AI or whatever. It's like it thinks, it automates our thinking so that we keep doing the same thing easier. Like, no, you don't want to do the same thing easier. This is a miracle. This is the new moment in time for you to let something completely new happen that is not found in the past, that is not found in statistics, that is not found in AI, that is not found in any human like exploration. None of it. It cannot be. That's why this is the secret of grace. It is undefinable, it's invisible, but it's definitely there, and you can receive it. Then something can occur. That will like bring you into an experience of happiness, because you see that it was effortless. You weren't the one doing it, and it's still happening. And it's confirming your connection with every aspect of creation. A total win-win situation. Now this you can extend to everyone that you meet, or demonstrate in every situation that you are. And there's no exception to it. That is so incredibly exciting about this. So thank you, Joel, for this lesson. Thank you for being here, for being present in this meeting. I totally appreciate that. Like, that makes it to a great, wonderful experience for ourselves to sit still and actually sit with this for a moment. Like, yeah, otherwise you would not take a look at it this way. Now we do this together. In this moment in time, we actually are doing this. So thank you for being a total part of that. And I hope to see you next week in lesson 9. And thank you for everything. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and see you before you know it. Thank you so much. Thank you.